Today we're back again with the Toyota, and we're going to be working on the lower control arm bushing. We're going to replace it and put a polyurethane in there. So this is the bushing right here. We did the passenger side. We basically got it all assembled. So we're going to start with the driver's side. And all we're doing is we're using a ball joint tool, ball joint removal tool, to press out this metal thing right here in the middle. We're gonna press it out of the rubber bushing. Let's see if I could record it. It's gonna be really loud, so I'm just gonna put it on the time lapse. Now we got this little oh, well, it was stuck in there, and we got most of that tube out. We're about halfway. Now we gotta find something that fits in there to push it out the rest of the way. We forgot to mention how to even get to this part. What we did is we removed the torsion bar. There's two 22mm nuts on the actual bolt that goes through the torsion bar key. So we loosened those up, we removed it completely, and then we pulled out the torsion bar, and then you're left with the control arm. But we had to, which we also have to remove the shock from it, and this strut rod, we have to remove it from the control arm. And then we had to remove this nut right here to push out the bolt that is keyed into the control arm. Once that was removed, we were able to slide out the control arm. That's how we got to this point. Now we have to see if this little socket that we have over here fits. Oh yeah, so it's pretty good. We're gonna use that to push it out the rest of the way, and then we'll put you guys back on. Okay, so now we got the socket in there, but the socket is easy to remove since it's smaller than the actual piece that came out. This is what came out. And now we have to push out this rubber bushing. So it gets a little complicated to do. Well, not really. I think the hardest part was to remove this. So we're gonna see if we could jam a screwdriver here on the side, spray some WD-40, and then just hopefully try to push out that bushing. So on the blue truck, when we replaced this bushing with the rubber bushing, we broke the seal around here with the chisel. We hammered it until it was bent basically all around. It was deformed, and then we started hitting it from the back, and then it pretty much came out pretty easy. It wasn't too hard. So right now we just gotta spray some WD-40 in here, in between the bushing and that little sleeve. We're gonna have to keep this metal sleeve for the poly bushing. We jammed this little screwdriver between the bushing and the sleeve. We sprayed a little bit of WD-40. Now we're jamming it on the back side, and we're kind of like prying it out. Comes out pretty easy. So that's pretty much it. That's all there is to the sleeve. Now we're gonna spray that down with some brake cleaner to get all the WD-40 out of it. So this is the bushing kit we ordered for the control arms. That's the part number right there, 18-202-BL. And this kit came with the upper control arm bushings and the two lower control arm bushings. So there's 6 bushings in total in the box. And it also came with a little bit of lithium grease, but we got the bigger bottle of grease. We're gonna do all the suspension with poly bushings. So this is what comes in the kit for this. So it slides in like that. And we're also going to reuse this, which we removed from the old bushing. It's going to sit in here like this. So we're going to get a little bit of lithium grease, like that. We're just going to coat the outside of the bushing all around. because these do get a little annoying if they don't have the grease on them. They could squeak and all that, so I'm gonna try to avoid all those issues. I'm gonna slide it up in there like that. Now we're gonna coat the inside of the bushing with some grease as well. So we got the bushing in there. Now we're gonna replace the control arm. We're getting a replacement in the mail because the one that we got wasn't, I don't know, it had some defects. So we sent it back, so they're gonna send another one that should get here in a couple of days. So we're gonna get the control arm ready. And what we're gonna do is we're going to paint this little bracket right here. So this is the nut that goes right here on the front side of the truck. Once that's removed, this comes out from the back side where the torsion bar goes in. And set that aside, and then these are the shock bolts, the shock mounting bolts. So we're gonna have to remove these two 14mm bolts and nuts. So with those two bolts removed, this just falls right out. We're gonna sand it down real quick, and we're gonna paint it with some black paint. We just got the control arm in today. This is it. I'll show you the differences right now. So you can see on this one, it's all the way back here. It's plated up to here. And then on the old one, it's just up to here. So I think it should be a little bit stronger. This one's already a little bent like that. Showed you guys before. And this one, the other one we exchanged it because it was completely flat right here. You see on the original one, it's raised a little bit. And on this one's a little raised, not as much as we would like it to be, but we're not gonna send this one back because you're gonna use it. So what we're gonna do right now is install this little arm, which we painted already. We're gonna put it back here, and then we're gonna install the bolts. The long one goes on this hole right here, and the short one goes on this. We're gonna put a little bit of blue Loctite. We're gonna throw it on there. Now that we have that bracket on, we're gonna put the control arm on the truck. So we're just gonna hold it with one hand like this, and then we're gonna slide this bolt in place. That's a little line that we made when we removed it. It lines up with that, and we're gonna put the nut and washer on the front side, and we're gonna torque that to 150. Now that we have the lower control arm torque, we're gonna install the strut rod bushings. This is the part number 18-1201-BL. This comes in the box, and when we removed this, we just backed off the nut up in the front. We didn't move this nut because that's the adjustment. You can see that these bushings are pretty worn, and this sleeve also has to come off. Now we're going to put some lithium grease on this. I'm going to coat this. Basically anywhere where the bushings make contact with metal needs to be coated. So that one goes on here like that. And this one is gonna get coated on the back side and in the middle as well. And up here in the front. That's where it comes in contact with the bracket. I'll put it like this. And we're gonna put the little sleeve on. This is also gonna get coated. We're not going to torque this down yet. We're just gonna run it in all the way with our hand under the truck. We're going to install these, torque these down, and then we're gonna torque the nut up in the front. So that's pretty much it for these bushings and the strut rod bushings. We torqued these to 75 and we torqued the nut up here to 100 foot-pounds. Next we're gonna install the ball joints, the spindle and all that, and hook up the sway bar. I think the ride on these bushings, I think it's a little stiffer. Well, I mean, you can feel most of the road vibration and all that because they're pretty solid. But I think they last longer than the rubber bushings. So that's why we wanted to give these a try. So make sure to check us out on Instagram at Yonke_OXC Films. I'll leave that in the description down below, and we'll catch you in the next one.